What is Lyotard's view on knowledge? If you're curious about how knowledge is viewed in the postmodern era, Jean-François Lyotard's ideas are a great place to start. Let's break down his perspective on knowledge. Lyotard, a French philosopher, is famous for his book, The Postmodern Condition, a report on knowledge. In this work, he argues that knowledge has become fragmented and subjective. He believes that knowledge is not something universal and objective, but rather it is particular and relative to different groups and contexts. Imagine different groups having their own stories or narratives that help them make sense of the world. For Lyotard, these narratives, or what he calls mini-narratives, are valid in their own right for each group. However, no one narrative is more true than another because truth is relative and depends on the context. Lyotard draws on the ideas of philosophers like Nietzsche and Wittgenstein, who challenged the modernist idea that there is a single, absolute truth. Instead, they argued that there are many localized truths that vary depending on time and place. This means what is true in one context may not be true in another, and there's no way to determine which truth is more accurate. Language games and narratives. Lyotard introduces the concept of language games to explain how knowledge is established. In these games, people try to convince others that their truth claims are valid. Whoever succeeds in these games gains power and legitimacy over what is considered true. This process is how social order is established and maintained through narratives. The postmodern condition. Lyotard describes the postmodern condition as an incredulity towards metanarratives. This means people no longer believe in grand, universal stories that explain everything, such as those provided by science, religion, or political ideologies. Instead, they accept that there are many smaller, localized narratives. Impact of technology. Lyotard also discusses how technology has changed the way we think about knowledge. He argues that knowledge is now linked to exchange value and is influenced by external forces, particularly technology. For instance, knowledge that can be translated into computer language is more valued, while other forms of knowledge might be abandoned. Criticisms and implications. While Lyotard's view offers individuals freedom from those who claim to have universal truths, it also raises some problems. For example, if all knowledge is subjective, it becomes difficult to criticize any particular narrative or system of knowledge. This could lead to a situation where those with power and money can legitimize any system of knowledge they prefer, leaving others without a basis to challenge these claims. In summary, Lyotard's view on knowledge is that it is subjective, relative, and fragmented into various narratives. He challenges the idea of universal truths and highlights the role of language games and technology in shaping what we consider knowledge. This perspective has significant implications for how we understand and interact with different forms of knowledge in the postmodern world.